Hello everyone, welcome to This Day. It's Thursday, February 12th. I'm your host, Bree Cox-Kennedy. Michael and I have done a little bit of a switcheroo, so you'll see me here on Thursdays, but he'll be back with you tomorrow and Saturday. On today's show, we've got a GRF update with Jean Castillo and Annie McHarry. They're going to be talking to us about how we can all be part of the solution when it comes to coyote safety. I know it's a big topic here in the village, so we want to all come together and figure out the best solutions for everyone. But first, folks, President's Day is just around the corner. It's going to be observed on Monday. It's on the third Monday in February every year, so it honors all U.S. presidents, and it actually began as a celebration of George Washington's birthday, in case you didn't know that little fact. In the village, transportation will operate on a holiday demand response schedule with no fixed route service. Plan a Ride will run from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Boost or Lyft service will be available from 7 to 9 a.m. and then again from 5 to 10 p.m. for all you party animals. Trash and bulky item pickup will continue as usual. Contract work may from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. with quiet work only from 7 to 8 a.m. So be mindful of that. If you want some more information on those, please go to the village website and look on news. We've got a lot of variable spring temperatures going on right now, folks. It's pretty typical for this time of year. Today's high sees about 64 degrees, mostly sunny skies. It's beautiful out there right now. Climbing up to a nice sunny 68 on Friday and partly cloudy on Saturday. Two nicest days we have before we start dropping back down in the temperatures with showers probably on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. So we'll have to wait and see for that. But get out there and enjoy the beautiful weather while we have it before it starts raining again. Sunrise this morning was at 6:38 a.m. Sunset will be at 5:33 p.m. This is a gorgeous shot of Mammoth. I don't know, Cole, you'll have to let me know if that's Mammoth Lake or Mammoth. I don't know how many lakes are in Mammoth because I've never been there and I've got to put that on my bucket list. If you'd like to send us your photos, I'd love to share them with our viewers. Please email those to us at lagunawoodsvillagetv@gmail.com. Of course, please include your name, where the photo is taken from, and in that beautiful horizontal format, please. We've got just 2 meetings to tell you about for today, and then after we come back, GRF update.
Adapt to it, we strive to make the everyday tasks easier by providing our customers with the tools they need to be successful. We carefully explain the use and care of all of our equipment. Adapt to it has been in Laguna Woods for over 20 years, and we know that nothing in life stays constant. So we can help you adapt to all the changes in your life. Adapt to it sells and rents items and always delivers with a smile. Come in today to experience what we mean when we say, when you can't change it, adapt to it.
Hi, my name is Ford. I'm a graduate gemologist and the founder here at Gold Standard. I've been in the jewelry and watch trade for over 30 years. Bring me your jewelry, watches, coins, even sterling silver flatware. I buy it all. Any item, big or small, you never know what you have in your jewelry box. Schedule a private appointment, bring me your items, and let me tell you what they're really worth. Never will you feel pressured. I treat all of my clients like their family. Gold Standard Company, by appointment only, here in Laguna Hills.
For years, Meineke has proudly served the Laguna Woods community. At our auto repair shop in Lake Forest, we offer a variety of services and repairs so that you can count on Meineke for all of your vehicle's needs. Whether it's a regular tune-up or more significant damage, our technicians are here to deliver top quality workmanship. When you visit us, we'll ensure quick and efficient service so you can get back to your day without delay. Visit us today for unparalleled service.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. We've got a pretty Interesting topic, I would say, to talk to you about with the GRF board. Jeannie Castillo and Annie McCary, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
I know this is kind of a sensitive subject that we need to wrap the village around, and everybody needs to come together to find a solution about coyotes.
I like what you just said, wrap the village around.
Yeah.
That's a great analogy. I do like that. I'm
Well,
gonna
we
use
all
that.
have to work together, right?
Right.
Yes.
We all love and adore our pets. We don't want anything to ever happen to them, but yet we have to honor nature at the same time. So how do we bridge that gap, walk that tightrope, and bring everybody together to do it?
Yes, and the city of Laguna Woods and the Laguna Woods Village and the board of directors, especially the Golden Rain Foundation, have been meeting talking about all of the issues surrounding coyotes and all the emotion that people are experiencing. And so we've been meeting as a community to look at some of the solutions that we can come up with so that we can sort of coexist with the coyote population.
Sure.
So Jeannie and I thought we'd come on the show today and talk about some of the coordinated efforts between the city of Laguna Woods and Laguna Woods Village and how to address this issue in a calm, hopefully calm manner.
I guess it gets a little heated at times, right? Because you do have that divide.
And so what we've done is we put together some information that Jeannie and I will be sharing in terms of what the city is doing and what the Golden Rain Foundation are doing to help to educate people, inform them, make them aware, and trust us to get a handle on this issue.
Fantastic. You want to start with the service capabilities?
Absolutely. First of all, we have animal control officers who are, the city of Laguna Woods contracts with the city of Laguna Beach for our animal control office. And so we have an animal control officer, and they are not peace officers. They have authority given to them by California state law as to what they can do in terms of coyotes. And what we know from what we're hearing and what we're seeing and what's happening throughout the state of California, there is an issue with a lot of coyotes. And some of the issues that we're hearing from residents is that we need to do some intense measures to basically eradicate the coyotes, and that's just not possible.
What would that do to the ecosystem if that were to happen?
Well, let me just speak to the coyotes themselves. If we try to eradicate them, they produce more. So we can't eradicate them with any measures that we know of, because once they feel threatened, they produce more. And the coyote population, California, is so populated with coyotes that even if we attempted to eliminate coyotes in the village, if we could do that, if there was a possibility, there are other surrounding cities that have coyotes as well. And Laguna Woods, we're 3 square miles of city, whereas all the other cities around have the same problem. So eradication is not something that we would even aim for.
Not even a part of the solution.
Because everything is in balance. Nature, to your point, nature abhors a vacuum, right?
Exactly.
So what happens when you take out the apex predator for all the the rats, the squirrels, the rabbits, all of those populations are going to elevate. So again, what we're trying to achieve here is balance, and by putting eradication on the table, it just completely takes everything out of balance from a nature standpoint.
Agreed.
So what we do is our efforts involve abatement, and that's an ongoing process that the city has embarked on within the regulations that are set before us. Also of note is since July of 2025, actually, we have 16 coyotes have been abated. And just so people know what abatement means, 16 have been killed. And our efforts are targeting aggressive and overly habituated animals, because we are getting reports that sometimes people encounter aggressive coyotes. And so we take those reports, and our efforts are aimed at trying to get rid of those aggressive ones. And the goal is to disrupt the dangerous behavior and restore a typical wildlife pattern, because, you know, Jeannie spoke to it earlier, the ecosystem, we have a typical wildlife pattern that existed before this aggressive behavior started just in recent year and months.
And ladies, do you think that it's because, I know for one, coyotes stalk, right? So do you think it's because there's so many pets here that the coyotes are naturally drawn to the area?
Well, coyotes go where the food chain is. And like squirrels go to where the nuts are, and the bees go where the pollen is. Coyotes go where the food source is.
Right.
And we do have a large animal population here.
Right.
Well, and to prove your point, they go after the little dogs, let's face it. You're walking a Labrador around, unless there's a pack of them, he's going to leave, that lone coyote is going to leave that larger dog alone.
Right.
I know I'm stating the obvious, but they don't see any difference between your dog and a rabbit or a squirrel. It is prey to them. And I think we have to get into this mindset of understanding that they don't understand a leash, they don't understand the concept of pet. This is food. And so we have to make the environment as inhospitable to them as possible. And we go through some of the things that our residents have found to be very, very successful. We were talking about the coyote vests earlier, that to deter their aggressiveness towards our pet small animals. So yes.
Thank you for making that point, because we do sort of internalize, like, this is my child, right?
Yeah,
this is my baby.
Yeah.
And how dare this wild animal come and attack a part or a piece of me?
It's true.
And that's really how it feels, right?
And so we understand the emotion, and we have to find logical solutions to help our residents understand the mind of a coyote, and how they're viewing, you know, their hunting patterns, right? Early morning, you know, dusk. Don't walk your dog during that time. It's not only the coyote's behavior that needs to change. I'm saying this out loud. It is our residents' behaviors that need to change, because we're smarter. We're smarter than the coyotes, right? We can figure out ways to deter their behavior through our behavior, and that's the micro and macro of the situation, as Andy and I were talking about earlier. The macro solutions are the ones that the city and the GRF are working on. The micro solutions are in the moment. It's, you've got a coyote that's looking at your dog. What can you do in the moment to deter that attack? So it's our residents are part of the solution, is the way we look at it as well.
And we want people, the purpose of this collaborative effort is to give people information. We want people to be prepared in the event they do encounter a coyote, to know what to do prior to it running and swooping up your pet. We want them to have some ideas, like Jeannie mentioned, about making loud noise, making sure that your pet is on an acceptable leash. So have that mindset when you step out the door, and that way, in the event you do encounter a coyote, you're not in complete shock as to what to do.
Empowerment.
Empowerment.
And is carrying a can of mace or anything like that acceptable? You know, as protection, if you do encounter one, and if they do try to attack, they don't spray very far. You know, bear spray sprays 20 feet, but a can of mace is 3 or 4. That's at very close proximity, right? So would that be advisable as just for personal protection, or not?
I don't have any experience with mace, but my understanding is if you accidentally spray yourself, then that's not the result that you wanted. There are some other tools that we give, like noisemakers, those sort of things, whistles. Now we get it that sometimes, because the coyotes have gotten very comfortable in the village, sometimes that might not deter them as
much,
as fast as it would. But I would rather see someone with a whistle and a noisemaker or something like that versus mace that you could potentially harm yourself or even your pet.
Or others.
Well, I've had the personal experience of I had a glass front door, and I had a little Sheltie, and I would take him out, you know, for his little break, and this coyote was looking into my house. And so I handed my dog over to my girlfriend, and I ran after that coyote, chased him down the
Chased him
street.
away.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that you can do, because they will run.
Well, you
right?
can. You can. Our residents can't. Some of our residents can't. And I think that's the scary part, is that they don't feel that they're empowered based upon their physical limitations
I see.
to
Yes,
do this.
That makes sense.
Right, and so it amps up the fear. And I know that Annie and Chris Macon, our city manager, our wonderful city manager, are working on giving them solutions for what they can do where they are with the physical capabilities that they have in the moment. And knowledge is power. And I think going into a situation where you feel that you're empowered, that I have tools that I can use given the situation, will help in the moment. But what we're really here to talk about, I'm going to get back on track again, is what we're doing in a macro setting, because it's working. I think it's, I have and again, I have no actual information, but other than stories, but I'm starting to hear that what we're doing is actually working, that what people are not seeing as many coyotes there. And I think it's because of some of the new things that the city is undertaking. So go ahead.
Yeah, so
Tell us what's currently in progress.
Right.
okay, the city is actually working on a feeding ordinance. We get reports, and I have not seen any reports of people leaving food out, but the city is working on an ordinance, a set of rules and regulations that can be enforced, that would prohibit activities that attract these coyotes coming into to the communities, like leaving food out, like low-hanging food trees. It's really concerning when we hear reports of people intentionally leaving food out. So this ordinance that we're addressing will speak directly to whether people are leaving food out to feed wildlife intentionally or unintentionally. There were going to be some consequences to those type of actions. And
Are you talking like a fine, or?
We currently have, what we're doing is we're trying to align what the compliance rules are within the village with the city. And we're basically trying to amplify the negative results of people doing things they shouldn't be doing, like feeding coyotes. And we'll talk about this, but if you're seeing somebody, and even if you're not sure who's doing it, please report it to compliance. We'll give you the number later. But please report that behavior to compliance, because what we can do is we can target that area for additional monitoring. This is basically chumming. This is asking coyotes to come in when you're leaving food out for them. And it's just that's not a good situation. Fruit trees, another thing. No, we're not getting rid of fruit trees. I know I've heard that. We are not getting rid of fruit trees. What we are doing is minimizing the ones that are unattended. The ones, like she said, where it's easy for these animals to get the fruit. And again, it's chumming. It's giving them a food source. We're trying to minimize the food sources. So keep your trees trimmed. Keep the fruit off the tree, and there isn't a problem. But if the trees are unattended, landscaping has been told to take care of that tree, because it is a hazard for all of us.
Absolutely, and with the fruits, there are some reports that coyotes may not eat certain types of fruit, trees of fruits, but maybe rodents do, and rodents are a nice appetizer for coyotes. So, so the attraction for the coyote might not be the fruit tree, but the attraction to the rat, which then attracts the coyote, or even the squirrels. Squirrels, people leave nuts and stuff around. Squirrels eat nuts. Coyotes
So
eat
would that
squirrels.
same, would that apply to like a squirrel feeder, like that's hanging in a tree?
Well, you know what? Wildlife likes wild food. And so the birds already know. Nature took care of how the birds get fed. Nature takes care of how the squirrels get fed. And it's a human thing, and it's a compassionate thing to feed the squirrel.
Sure.
It's a compassionate thing to do to feed the birds. But unless a bird feeder is designed so that the seeds don't spill off over into the ground, then that's an opportunity for another prey animal to come and eat the bird seeds, which is, an invitation for the coyote.
Right.
So there's this food chain, and so I always tell people, if you're concerned about wildlife, then let the wildlife eat wild food.
I love
point.
that. That's a great point.
All right, so I do want to talk about something that we kind of skipped over, and it's been a current hot topic, but I think we do need to discuss it, and that is trapping and abatement. I think we do need to address this in our community. Yes, we are trapping, and yes, we are abating coyotes. We are definitely doing that on a regular basis, on a nightly basis. Again, these are coyotes that are deemed to be very aggressive, or injured or sick. It's not random, and it is targeted in certain areas, which is another reason why it's important that when you do see coyotes in areas that you do report them. Not that they're going to stay there and wait, wait for an animal service officer to show up. But it shows us where the hot spots are. It shows us where they are. If you know where dens are, please let our landscaping people know where those dens are. They will go and they will haze those dens. We have to make it uncomfortable for the coyotes to live here. They will move elsewhere if it's not hospitable. They won't move elsewhere if we just try and eradicate them. We have to make this inhospitable. So that's really the balance of what we're trying to do. So I just wanted to address that because I know that that's been a hot button. Are we killing coyotes? Unfortunately, yes, we are, but we're doing it in a very targeted way. So I don't want PETA on my doorstep. So, all right.
I did want to. We got so excited. I kind of got off my schedule pattern.
Okay.
But I did want to talk about some of the incident patterns and risk factors. And that has to do with what Jeannie spoke to earlier about reporting. The city, there have no reports of human bites have been reported in 2025 or 26. Now, we hear stories about coyotes attacking humans and bites, but if they're not reported, there's no way to document that. So that's why we encourage people to report any kind of coyote attacks. Let's see, most of the incidents occur during low lighted hours. We want to make sure that people keep their leashes and harnesses secure, because sometimes if those fail, if you've got a harness that's loosely fitting, then it's very easy for a coyote to just rapidly swoop that pet up.
Yes.
And then, like most cities and counties, Laguna Woods require dogs to be on a leash no longer than 6 feet long. And so again, like I said, incidents may have occurred, but they are not being reported. The dog attacks are being reported, but the attacks on humans are not being reported.
One of the things we're doing on a village-wide basis, in conjunction with our city, is a hazing process that involves airsoft guns. And for those of you that don't know what an airsoft gun is, think about paintballs. That's what an airsoft gun is. We're not using paintballs, we're actually using water. But what it does is it hurts, but it doesn't harm, it doesn't injure the animal. And so what we're doing is we have a couple of animal control officers who are going, and they are literally trying to haze these coyotes. What we're doing is we just recently purchased a couple of these airsoft guns for our Laguna Woods community, and are in the process of training our security officers to do the same. And if this shows good results, then what we're going to do is we're going to possibly add in a couple more security officers, basically assigned to this detail. So it's again, the idea is to scare them, and this is what we need to do. We need to scare them, not harm them. So that's another thing that we're doing. We have e-bikes. We purchased a couple of e-bikes. That's to help us get into these smaller areas where coyotes like to hang out. It's also for security purposes and things like that. But we're using them for this purpose as well. And again, we're focusing on the denning and the other hot spots that our residents have told us they're seeing these coyotes.
Fantastic. When people do see these coyotes, where do they report to?
There is a non-emergency coyote hotline, and that number is on the screen. It's 949-639-0501, and leave a message. It's not an active line where you can have a conversation. That's a really important way for the animal control people to get a good idea of where the heavily coyote activity is located. So regardless of wherever you are, if you see a coyote, call that number and leave a message.
Okay, wonderful. Ladies, thank you so much for sharing this valuable information with us.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you.
giving us the
Appreciate
opportunity.
it. Coming up next, we'll take a look at what's happening on Monday, President's Day. Stay with us.
If you're exhausted after conversations, it might not be you. It might be the strain of trying to hear. Today's AI-based hearing devices can do real-time situational analysis, helping reduce background noise so you can follow speech without working so hard, often leaving you feeling more relaxed and engaged. Try Audibel Eris. All insurances are accepted, and take advantage of our field trial that lets you test the environment where it matters the most, your daily life. Call us today, and remember, tell them Stuart sent you.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Let's take a look at what's happening on Monday, President's Day. There will be no ThisDay on Monday. We are showing movies all day for your enjoyment, starting at 8:30 a.m. My sister Eileen, moving into the lunchtime noon hour. I'll see you in my dreams. Wrapping up the day with California's Gold at 5 p.m. with Hugh Hauser. Tomorrow on ThisDay, we've got the Theater Guild and Sports Corner. And that's going to do it for this episode of ThisDay. Of course, from all of us here, we wish yours a beautiful one. See you tomorrow.